Hi, my name's Luke with Harmonica.com, and I'm going to teach you a few pro tips on how to work with a metronome. There's two real principles of success for playing with a metronome. Number one is bring it down to the slowest speed you possibly can. When there's a greater space between each note, there's more room for you to miss. And so if you're playing everything really accurate at a really slow tempo, then when you speed it up, you're going to sound fantastic. Number two is we want to start with the greatest number of subdivisions that your melody has. So like in our example today, that's 16th notes. And then slowly reduce the amount of subdivisions you're hearing all the way until you're just hearing a click on beats 2 and 4. That's the Ninja Pro level. I'm going to show you how all that works right now. We're going to play lowrider. Here we are at 80 beats a minute. Set your metronome to a 16th note denomination, or if you don't have denominations on your metronome, just multiply your tempo times 4, so it would be 320 beats per minute in this case. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Okay, so that's really fast. It's going to help us a lot to slow that down. Let's take it down to 60 beats per minute. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Okay, that's more helpful, but let's slow it down even more. Let's slow it all the way down to 40 beats per minute. So now if you're using a traditional metronome, you would multiply the tempo times 4, so you would be at 160 beats per minute. E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... Okay, you can see how when we slow it down quite a bit down to that tempo, we can really now hear how accurate we are if we're really playing the notes at exactly the same time as the metronome. You have to use your ears, that's the key. Now that we're lining up our melody with all the 16th note grid, let's reduce what we're hearing from the metronome from 16th notes down to 8th notes. Now we are responsible for the 16th note feel, and we're just hearing the 8th notes on the metronome. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and a 4 E and a... Okay, whereas when we heard the 16th notes, every single note I was playing was lining up with a click. Now, only the notes that are coming on 8th notes are lining up with clicks, and the rest we're responsible for on our own. And so now let's be responsible for even more and take it from 8th notes down to quarter notes. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... All right, cool. Let's increase our tempo up to 60 beats per minute now. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a... Now we're going to take it one step further, and we're only going to hear the clicks on beats 1 and 3. If your metronome app has a half note setting, then you could set that, or some metronomes you can just mute beats 2 and 4, or we can just divide the BPM by 2, so down to 30 beats per minute. 1 E and a 2 E, 3 E and a 4 E. 3 E and a 4 E and a... So you can see now we have to have more accountability for the tempo and the groove. In this melody, we're only really lining up on beat 1. So it's really not until beat 1 that we find out if we're keeping the groove or not. And if we find we can't do it, then you just add those denominations back in and keep playing it and keep playing it. And then you take them away and you see if you can do it. And you get to the point where you can really be responsible for the groove. Now the final ninja level here is we're going to do the same thing, but instead of hearing the click on 1 and 3, we're going to hear it on 2 and 4. Now this can be very challenging at the beginning, and the best way to get into it, each time it clicks, say 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And that's how we get into hearing the click on 2 and 4. It can be quite awkward at the beginning. So we go 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. And that's some challenging stuff. That's what a professional musician should be able to do. Should be able to play a melody with a metronome clicking on 2 and 4 and just having the groove feel good. And that means you are really taking ownership of the groove yourself, and you're just verifying it when you hear yourself lining up with the metronome every so often. So that's my pro tip for you with the metronome. Again, start with the highest number of subdivisions, reduce it where you're only hearing the click on the 2 and 4. That's really ninja level stuff. And the other thing too is always take it slower and slower and slower, as slow as you possibly can. And those are recipes for success in using a metronome to help yourself develop a killer sense of time and groove. Rock on.